You walked away from another conversation with mom or dad this week thinking, what is happening? You're not the enemy here. You're trying to help, but why does it feel like every time you bring up the house, you trigger a fight, or weeks of silent treatment, or a glassy eyed, I'll think about it, that goes absolutely nowhere? I'm Adam, senior transition specialist, and after years of sitting at kitchen tables with families just like yours, I can tell you the problem is almost never what you're saying. It's how their brain is wired to hear it. In the next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to walk you through a framework called DISC for communication archetypes. And by the end, you'll be able to spot exactly which one your mom or dad falls into, what to say to them, and just as importantly, what to stop saying. There's an old saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's true, but it's incomplete. The deeper truth is, it's about how the person across the table is built to process what you're saying. Some parents need data, some need permission, some need to feel in charge, some need to feel safe. Use the wrong key in the wrong lock, and the door stays shut, no matter how carefully you knock. DISC is a framework that tells you which key belongs to which lock. DISC stands for Four Communication Styles. Everyone is a mix, but most people have one dominant style that drives how they process information, handle change, and make decisions. The driver, fast, direct, results first, wants the bottom line. The influencer, fast, social, story driven, wants connection. The steady, slow, cautious, harmony focused, wants safety. The analytical, slow, logical, data driven, wants certainty. As we go deeper, most parents aren't a pure type. They're a blend with a dominant lean. So as we go through each archetype, you may see flashes of two in the same parent or one parent in each. That's normal. Identify the dominant lean and you have enough to work with. Archetype number one, the driver. How to spot them. Direct, short sentences. Finishes your questions before you do. Doesn't care about the small stuff. Doesn't do feelings in conversations, not because they don't have them, but because they think feelings slow the meeting down. Often, former business owners, executives, military, or anyone who ran something. What matters to them? Control, the mission, not being told what to do. What to focus on? Equity and timeline. Numbers, options. The strategy, never give a driver parent advice. Give them a menu. Let them sign the executive decision. Try this. Dad, the market price for the house right now is around X. A typical closing takes Y days. Here are three best paths on the table. Which one do you want to authorize? Short, punchy. Steering wheel goes back to their hands. Archetype 2, the influencer. How to spot them. Talkative, warm, calls everyone honey or sweetheart, tells the same stories about the neighbors over and over, knows everyone's grandchildren by name, will talk your ears off for 2 hours and never bring the actual question you came to discuss. What matters to them? Relationships, being included, the social calendar. What to focus on? Lifestyle and people. Never math or maintenance. The strategy, let them talk. Listen intently. Validate. Then paint a picture of the social benefit. Try this. Mom, think about how much easier and more fun it's going to be to host the grandkids for Sunday dinner without the exhaustion and stress of maintaining this massive yard. An influencer doesn't buy a smaller house. They buy a bigger social life. Archetype 3, the steady. Pay close attention to this one. In my experience working with families, the steady profile is by far the most common in senior parent generation. If you master this archetype, you're ready for the vast majority of conversations you're going to have. So, how to spot them? Reserved, quiet, hates conflict, won't argue with you. Instead, they'll look you in the eye and nod and say, I'll think about it, and then completely ghost the conversation. They're slow to decide and they shut down the moment they feel pressured. What matters to them? Harmony, predictability, safety, things staying the way that they've been. So, what to focus on? Safety, legacy, and pace, especially pace. The strategy: lower the temperature. Prove you care about their comfort, not just the transaction. Try this. We aren't just leaving a house. We're moving your legacy somewhere where you can actually enjoy it without the stairs being a constant safety risk. We don't have to do anything today. Let's just take it one room at a time. Notice what the script does. It honors the house, it names a real safety reason, and it removes any pressure of speed. That's the steady combination. Archetype number 4, the analytical. How to spot them? Quiet and reserved, but for different reasons than the steady. The analytical is quiet because they're calculating. They quote Zillow at you. They've already pulled the comps. They'll mention an interest rate from last Thursday. Often engineers, accountants, researchers, or anybody whose job rewarded them for being precisely right. So what matters to them? Being right and not being wrong. Having every number before deciding. What to focus on. Data, cold, objective, verifiable. The strategy: strip every emotional appeal. Bring receipts. Then, and this is the trick, invite them to check your work. Try this. Dad, I've put together a detailed spreadsheet the last 24 months of maintenance and utility costs versus the realistic net proceeds if we sold the house. I'd love for you to review the math and tell me if the numbers hold up. Asking them to verify your work makes them your partner in the decision instead of being your opponent. Now, let me give you a shortcut for remembering all four. So, drivers and influencers are fast paced, they decide quickly, they get impatient if you slow them down. Studies and analyticals are slow paced. They need time to process. They cannot be rushed, and trying to rush them just shuts the door. Influencers and studies are people focused. They care about relationships and how decisions affect their family. Drivers and analyticals are outcome based. They care about goals, logic, math, and efficiency. So when you put those together, you get a simple map. Fast and outcome focused, driver. Fast and people focused, influencer. Slow and people focused, steady. Slow and outcome focused, analytical. Here's what most adult children never realize: you have a disc style too. And if your style doesn't match your parents', you may be the actual obstacle in the conversation and not them. Think about it. If you're a fast paced, outcome driven driver yourself, and your mom is a slow paced, people focused steady, every conversation you have is going to feel terrible to both of you. You think you're being efficient, she feels attacked. Or you're an enthusiastic influencer trying to use emotional picture painting language on an analytical dad who just wants the structural inspection report. He'll politely tune you out every time. Match their pace, speak their language. That's how you bypass the resistance. Quick example. A daughter, let's call her Lisa, Came to me convinced her father was stubborn about selling. And Lisa is a high powered driver, type A executive. She'll march into her dad's living room with spreadsheets, three options, and a deadline. And every time her dad, a textbook steady, would nod, smile, and change the subject to the garden. She thought he was avoiding the issue. He thought she was bulldozing him. When she changed her approach, slower, one room at a time, no pressure, talking about the legacy instead of equity, her dad opened up within two visits. He hadn't been stubborn. He'd been overwhelmed. The mismatch was the whole problem. This is exactly why I built the safe passage system for families I work with here in Greater Boston. We don't come in with one playbook, we come in with four, one for each archetype, plus the experience to use them in a household where parents are often two different styles. Translate what each parent is really saying, concierge the logistics so no one feels overwhelmed. Transparency in every number so every decision feels informed instead of pressure. Same family, same house, very different conversations. If this breakdown helped you figure out which profile your mom or dad fits, drop a comment below. I generally love to know which archetype gave you the that's her moments. And if you know it's time to have this conversation, but you want a professional, objective second opinion before you start, I offer a free strategy session, about 30 minutes on the phone, where we look at your specific situation, identify your parents' styles, and map out the right approach for you and your family. The link should be somewhere on the screen. So, in conclusion, match their pace, speak their language. Your parents' next move can be their safest move.